the Giants, Joe Judge, head coach, said yesterday that, quote, the fish stinks from the head down. It starts with me and ends with me. Mm-hmm. He took the blame for their 1-5 record. Of course,
1-5.
Fish rots from the head down is usually how I say it, and it doesn't start and end with him. He's saying that, but actually there are people above him. One of them hired him. So anyway, Evan, would you like to know where the expression comes from? Is that the idea? Evan, get on that mic.
Where are you, isn't that what we discussed? I want to know where the saying comes from.
Where it comes? I mean, we could Google it. I assume because that's what happens. That a rotten fish.
Which
goes
one?
Let
me get my Google fingers on it.
Or Timmy Toughnuts?
I would say
I wanted to know where the saying "rotten," the fish from the head down comes from, and I wanted to know from Key, who played for Bill Parcells. Like, this sounds like a Parcells thing. Him saying
it's not a football expression. It's an expression generally. It's not just football.
Right, but there's a lot of expressions that are expressions in the world that we've used in football terms. I mean, I know like Parcells like saying, well, if you want me to cook the meal, you got to let me shop for the groceries. That's a chef's saying, but Parcells used it in a football term. I want to know if from Key, who played for Bill Parcells, did you ever hear him saying this? Because to me, when I hear Joe Judge, I think he's kind of a wannabe Bill Parcells guy.
I've heard so much from Bill, man, and other coaches. I'm sure he said that before, but that's not one that sticks out. You know, getting into a fight with a pig. Don't get into a fight with a pig because he'll like it and he'll get mud all over you. I've heard,
I got it.
Because you get dirty and he likes it.
Yeah. That's Bill.
Early English examples credit the Turks. It dates back to at least the 1600s. It comes from the idea that after the fish is caught and killed, it first begins to spoil at the head.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, some fishmonger or fisherman.
So it's not Parcellian.
Observed that this was the case or thought it was.
What?
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I was just telling you where it. Shut up.
A fish rots from the head down is an expression.
You didn't know that the fish is no good at the head?
I use that expression all the time. It's a great one because it explains, like, when you see bad organizations and they're bad for 30 years.
You use fish, I use the snake head.
Right.
Yeah, you cut
the head off the snake.
Yeah.
But cutting the head off the snake is when you want to beat somebody or overcome something.
I understand. I said I just use that a lot.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this case.
So now you just want me to say every term that I use a lot? Is that how you made it all work?
No, I just said I use that a lot. Max was saying how you use the fish.
Yeah, the fish. Because you notice certain organizations, like for so long the Knicks, were no good. And then you start to look, but all these different variables change.
It stinks at the top.
This, and then so I start to look at Dolan, right? Like, wait a minute, that's the owner of the team. Yeah. You know, inevitably, here, the Giants stinking predates Joe Judge, and it predates Gettleman. Jerry Reese, the second half of his tenure with the Giants, was awful. It was awful.
Well, okay, so every organization, I consider the Giants one of the big organizations in professional sports. Sure. I do, because they've won multiple championships, and it's all, they're Monday Night Football, they're Sunday night. It's big. They're Manning. It's huge. Parcells, whatever. They're going to go through a slump. Everybody can't stay great forever. It doesn't happen. The Yankees are struggling now, but the Yankees were good forever.
But the Yankees, but the difference is when the Yankees struggle, they're still in the playoffs. The Giants are really an up and down franchise. As much as they've won, they have a lot of valleys.
Yeah, but that's true. But teams have peaks and valleys, and teams. You look at the New England Patriots. They were rolling. They may struggle for the next 4 or 5 years, man. And they were rolling for 20. It just happens.
It happens to some.
And I think Joe Judge in this situation, when Dan Orlovsky said what he said the other day of Timmy Toughnuts.
Let's listen to Orlovsky. Let's listen to Orlovsky. This is what Dan had to say.
Players in the locker room don't like Timmy Toughnut coaches when you're losing football games.
Timmy Toughnuts.
Timmy Toughnuts from Joe Judge.
Yeah.
And you're losing football games. Yeah. And your quarterback goes. Everybody on your team is hurt. You're down 38-3 at the end of the game. Your quarterback is still in the game with like 2 minutes to go, and he's taking shots when everybody on your team is hurt. Like, this is just a disappointment by the Giants.
Here's the problem.
That's the best dad joke you ever told.
Can I just tell you, guys? I feel like I'm over all this stuff. We analyze, overanalyze, break down every single thing, every single day. You know what? When you lose, things suck, and everything starts to be built against you. All I'm saying is Joe Judge has a style. It's very Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick type, but it takes a minute to create a culture. And I don't give a damn what anybody says. I played for a man that when you're down by a lot, it's still about what kind of effort you give. Now, I know pros may not want to hear that because everybody has their own style, but it is something about what kind of effort you bring each and every single day.
You know why that's significant? Because when an organization's been struggling, let's say for a decade, like the Giants, then you bring in a new guy. You should have patience, but the fans just feel like I've been giving you patience. Even though it's not the new regime that has gotten the patience, they just got there. Fans feel like I've been giving this franchise patience for a decade now. So they have a shorter leash for the new guy. Is this team going in the right direction?
Dan is right 100% of the time, and he's right in this one.
He's right 100% of the time?
I'm just giving him a little nudge.
Oh, okay.
He's listening.
Okay.
He's right in this situation. When you are a coach that everything is, I want to be tough. I'm talking a certain way. I'm treating players a certain way. I'm cutting guys. When you're doing stuff like that, you got to win.
Running them to, running guys into the ground in practice.
You got to win. The reason it works for guys like a Parcells, and that's not even, because Belichick is different than Bill. Everybody always says Bill and Parcells, Bill Belichick and Parcells are the same. They're not. Parcells, let me tell you something about Bill. He'd get your attention real quick.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.